Good evening and welcome to the SRL Snowman Studios Motorsports Designs Cup Series. We got another packed house tonight here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Shooey Sportsbook 180. We're gonna be doing about, I think, 50 cars. 51 have registered for this event. So we're going to have people vying for cutoff positions to make it into the field, and we're going to have some DNQs. Practice just ended. And we're looking at James Bomar right now, who did not make the field at Auto Club last week when there was a similarly sized field coming out in that number 20, getting those tires heated up. Hopefully this time we can have someone as good as James Bomar make it into the field, but it's gonna be a heck of a race here because Las Vegas is one of those tracks with this packaging car. It's hard to get separation, and it is so wide, and that banking is variable, so you can run multiple lines. But drivers starting to set their out laps. Seems like people are going to be trying to do a lap 2 fast lap, and I think that some people are going to try to run the wall on their qualifying lap. And when you do that, your goal is to definitely not hit the wall, because if you touch that wall, that invalidates your qualifying time. So James Bomar coming to do his flying lap right now, lap number 2. And he's going to play it safe, run middle, don't want to get anywhere near that wall. And that's a pretty smart move from Mr. Bomar. As long as he doesn't tap the wall, he should be getting in. If I'm not mistaken, it is 42 or 43 out of the 51 registered drivers make it in. And let's see what time James Bomar says coming across the line. And he has moved himself into the 5th position. Currently on pole is the number 1 of Brian Lorenzo with a 29.921. Certainly a blistering lap. And let's see at some of the other drivers setting laps. Here's Philip Pinion, the second in the 5 car. I believe this is his first start in SRL, so he's trying to make the field for the first time. And we should have 9 people not qualify. Halfway through qualifying already. I swear these things fly through. And it looks like Philip has gotten himself into 31st place. Hopefully that'll be enough to keep him there. But it looks like most people aren't having too much issues with the wall or anything. As we look at Sean Rowe, last season's champion in the 99 car, new paint scheme, that Baby Ruth blue and silver number 99 looks pretty good, if I say so myself. The camera is a little dark. That's just iRacing lighting settings at Las Vegas. Once the lights come on, it should get a lot better. But once at sunset, it can be pretty dark here, as Sean Rowe moves up into the 18th spot. So that should lock himself in. Currently on the bubble right now is Daniel Rivera in the 15, as drivers like Van Drummond starting to do, or just finished up with their qualifying efforts. And it is still Brian Lorenzo on pole, as he's the only driver to break into the 29-second bracket. And yeah, we already are seeing cars being knocked out. Riley Marabello on the track right now, getting up to speed, coming to lap 2. This is the flying lap. This is the money lap. Let's see what he can set. The very smooth entry into turns 1 and 2, running the bottom and tracking out up top. No contact with the wall, so as long as he can get it clean 3 and 4 without spinning, he should be able to get into the show. very easily, wrapping the bottom, coming up a little bit on exit, 20 seconds left. And he didn't hit the wall, and as long as he doesn't touch the grass, he should be fine. And Riley Marabello moves up into the 10th spot. So he will be very comfortably in. And now that we have qualifying done with, as that just wraps up, we can go through our starting lineup. Your DNQs are Caleb. All I saw was Caleb McKinney before the field refreshed. Caleb McKinney, Forrest Smith, Ed Robertson, Jordan Herring, Ollie Reeves, Christopher A. Robinson, Daniel Rivera, Michael Deitch, David Hamrick, and Gio Turpin not making it in. Philip Pinion II seems to be the last car to make it in. So he's probably breathing a sigh of relief right now. Let's go on standby for just 1 second. Sorry, was just making sure that my timing board was reading correctly. Okay, so now that drivers are starting to grid, we can go through our starting lineup. On pole in the number one in row one is the number one of Brian Lorenzo. On his outside is the 00 of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Inside of row number two, in third place, is going to be the number 98 of Sam Brochu. On his outside is the number 79 of Barrett Pohemus. The inside of row number three, it's going to be the 65 of Ben T. Pierce. And on his outside is going to be the 96 of James Thurston. Inside of row number four is going to be last week's winner and Peyton Howell in the number 52, with Trevor Haley on his outside of the number 12. Inside of row number 5 is going to be the number 26 of Bladen Edwards. On his outside is the 16 of Riley Marabello. Rounding out the top 10 qualifiers, inside of row number 6, starting in 11th, is going to be the 46 of Cole Dent with Nicholas Baumann on his outside. Inside of row number 7 is going to be the number 54 of Kenny Brady with very fast driver Van Drummond on his outside of row 7. Inside of row 8 is going to be the 55 of Austin Doran and Matthew Miles, the number 30, next to him. On the inside of row number 9 is going to be the 50 of John O'Lynch, and on his outside is the number 41 of Noah Larson. Inside of row number 10 is the number 93 of Nick Donati, and on his outside is going to be the number 77 of Tyler J. Curley, the last driver to qualify within the top 20. First driver outside of the top 20 is Aldon Contreras, the number 92, with Quincy Strawhacker, the number 23, on his outside. Inside of row number 12 is going to be the number 20 of James Bomar. On his outside is Amir Bascom, the number 21. Inside of row number 13 is last season's champion Sean Rowe, the number 99. And on his outside is the number 28 of Joseph Lewis. Inside of row number 14 is the number 45 of Andretti Robinson. On his outside, came home with a podium last week. It's number 47 of Dustin Marr. Inside of row number 15 is number 49 of Damian Vega. On his outside is number 63 of Henry Kaloff. Inside of row number 16 is number 85 of David Joyner. On his outside is number 51 of Brady Wildman. Inside of row number 17 is the 67 of Justin Rott. And on his outside is the number 9 of Andrew Cootie. And behind them in row 18 is the number 27 of Juan Escamilla. And on his outside is the number 7 of Braden Hill. Inside of row number 19 is number 29 of Ryan Nardon. And on his outside is the number 13 of Connor Zola. On the inside of row number 20 is the number 88 of Chase Crawl. On his outside is the number 48 of Nicholas Martinez Jr. Inside of the last row is of row 21 is a 25 of Shockey Tarpley. And rounding out your field is going to be the number 5 of Philip Pinion II. First driver to not qualify, number 76, Caleb McKinney, then the 81 of Forrest Smith. Then it's Ed Robertson and Jordan Herring both failing to qualify, followed by Ollie Reeves and Christopher A. Robinson. Danny Rivera and Michael Deitch were not able to make the cut either. Neither did David Hamrick or Gio Turpin. And that rounds up your entire field, both qualifiers and non-qualifiers. We got 120 laps here at the 1.5 mile Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're going to have a great time here. Expect to see lots of wild moves, lots of close racing, and hopefully minimal cautions. But this type of drafty racing, where it's not exactly a plate track, but you get pretty darn close to it, tends to breed lots of cautions. So we're in here for the long haul here in SRL, as 42 drivers all trying to vie for their seat at the table when the SRL chase begins later on in this season. I'll tell you what, someone with the greatest, probably the best possible start to their season that you could get in this league is the number 26 of Boyden Edwards, sitting in 9th right now. Finished first at Daytona for the 250, and I believe he got a podium or a very solid finish last week at Auto Club. So starting your season on the right foot is key if you want to do well here in SRL. But pace car lights are off. We're going to be going green this time. Bye. Pace car is in, and we're waiting for the green flag to drop so Brian Lorenzo can lead the field to the green. Green flag is out, and Juergensmeyer gets a much better start on the outside with help from Barrett Bohemus. He basically just rockets to the front. You see Peyton Howell go on the apron a little bit, and Juergensmeyer is clear. He can go to the bottom if he wants to, and he looks pretty content with running the middle right here, as he'll go up to the high side to block Barrett Bohemus in number 79, as we are going 3 wide in the back. Like I said, this is a very wide track, and it's hard to get separation, so this type of racing, 2 and 3 wide throughout the entire field, is going to happen as Juergensmeyer leads the first lap here, taking away from Brian Lorenzo, who slips back to 4th. Here comes James Thurston in the number 96, looking to the inside of Barrett Bohemus in the 79, but he gets a little loose and has to back out of it. He has to slide back a little bit, and now Lorenzo gets the run on the inside of Thurston, looking to make the move on those new tires, but not with a lot of help, as Trevor Haley tries to get to the bottom, can't get there, as Peyton Howell is on the bottom and not able to make the move work. But Lorenzo has only gone back from the start, as Bohemus is trying to make something work on that 0-0 of Juergensmeyer. We are 3 wide with Sam Brochu sliding back on the high side, but he's going to get a great run off the corner. Side draft from Marabello, as these drivers are racing each other really close. But so far, it's been nothing but clean racing, as we almost went 4 wide through turns 3 and 4. Bauman moves up the track a bit into Drummond, but it looks like no harm, no foul, as Marabello gets a terrible exit off the corner and just did not give momentum that he needed, and he's going to slow up the cars behind him as they go 3 wide into turn 1. Bauman clips the apron a little bit. That's going to get him real tight. And as they almost went 4 wide again with Boyden Edwards, and something with Marabella, as he had a dive to the bottom, as we are 4 wide. Adam Contreras in the wall. There's a car spinning in the back, and our first caution is out. I was just about to switch it back to the lead because James Thurston took the lead away from Jonathan Juergensmeyer, but then we saw a car spinning. Believe it was the 85 of David Joyner in the wall. Let's get a replay up on that real quick to see what exactly happened. Looking at the 21 of Amir Bascom, and it looks like he gets tagged by the 93 of Nick Donati. And yeah, that just turns him sideways. Donati tries to straighten him out, but nowhere for the 85 of David Joyner to go, as as he tried to go high, and Bascombe just slid up into him. Nothing that either Bascombe or Donati could do, as that sends Joyner flying back down the track. Justin Rott starts sliding sideways, trying to check up into Joseph Lewis, who seems to can never catch a break. Nicholas Martinez involved as well, and then Joyner's trying to turn it back up from the field, and then there's just a big stack up. I mean, Chase Crawl, Pinion's involved, just a big smash 'em up pretty much. As I think that's Tyler Curley blinking in and out into the wall. So cars are everywhere here. We have about 10 cars on pit lane as it stands right now, trying to get damage fixed. And we have one driver already with a meatball, Tyler Curley. But yeah, that is a real shame that had to happen so early in the race, as that's a pretty banged up race car for number 85. Seems like the person who got the worst of it is Tyler J. Curley, who is the only person with a meatball, which for those who don't play iRacing, that means that they have too much damage and need to come into pit lane to fix it. But let me get the position graphic off the screen. And your top 5 as it stands right now, because the pace car lights just went off, is James Thurston leading with Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in second, Barrett Bohemus, Trevor Haley, and Brian Lorenzo. That's your top 5 right now. And outside the top 5, it's Sam Brochu, Payne Howell, Ben T. Pierce, James Bomar, and Kenny Brady. So not even 10 laps in, and we're going to have a caution. It's a next-gen Las Vegas race here on iRacing. But pace car lights are off. We're going to be going green flag next time by for the first restart of the night. And it's going to be James Thurston as the control car choosing the inside. And it'll be interesting to see if Jonathan Jurgensmeyer can get the great start that he had, a great restart, the same one that he had on the initial start, because he really flew around the outside of Brian Lorenzo at the beginning. Almost like Lorenzo was caught napping or something, but we'll see if he can do it against one of the best restarters in the field. Green flag is out, and Thurston with a definite advantage, able to get completely clear of Jurgensmeyer. But it looks like Barrett Bohemus is not able to say the same, as he's going to be side by side entering the corner. He might be able to clear him mid-corner, but he's going to be running that bottom, trying to catch up to Thurston, as he was not able to clear himself to the high side. Jurgensmeyer getting a great run out of the corner. And now we are going 3 and 4 wide here almost, as that is Ben T. Pierce in the 65 going all the way to the apron. You can go to the apron in the tri-oval. It's very much allowed. It's just a white line. It's like Kansas, as, whoa, Bomar into the back of Lorenzo. I don't think Bomar was expecting Lorenzo to check up that much and got into him a little bit. Almost caused an accident. But we stay green here, as cars are very lightly scraping the wall at about 190 miles an hour. But Ben T. Pierce running the bottom here in that number 65 Gradient Concepts car. Not able to clear Brian Lorenzo just yet, but I think Lorenzo got a little loose, and it has been nothing but backwards for that one car, as Sean Rowe looking to dive to the inside of Lorenzo, as that's the battle for about 10th spot right there. Lorenzo shuts the door, and Sean Rowe doesn't have any help to keep him on the bottom. And it's still the James Thurston show, as Kenny Brady in 5th, looking to the inside of Trevor Haley for 4th place. Trevor Haley is going to have the run off the corner, as the 65 of Ben Pierce did not get a very good corner. He's going to drop back like a rock. But Kenny Brady still on the inside of Trevor Haley. Might be able to get something to work if he can side draft him, but I think that 12 is going to have a great run coming off the corner, and he does. But Kenny Brady with help from Payne Howell. Well, not anymore, as Payne Howell elects to block the high side from Barrett Bohemus. as I think we almost saw 3 wide for a second, but this is a familiar battle. Van Drummond versus James Bomar for 10th place, as both of these drivers essentially side drafting each other, as a little bit of a gap is forming between the 46 of Cole Denton and the lead pack, as Van Drummond is leaning all over the side of the 20, as Sean Rowe is going to push James Bomar on the high side. I don't know if Van Drummond got tired or something, but that was a very close call. Very, very lucky that it did not end up with Bomar going around. But Cole Denton on the outside of the 52 of Peyton Howell, last week's winner, here in the 46. He might be able to get something to work on that high side by himself if he has the run, and it looks like he will, as Peyton Howell will have to slot. Oh, I almost said something terrible. Will have to slot in behind Cole Denton, as the battle for the lead looks like might be sparking again, as Juergensmeyer's gone right to the back bumper of James Thurston. James Thurston running the middle, Juergensmeyer running the bottom with help from Sam Brochu. But the question is, will Brochu continue running the bottom, or will he try to slot up top? And it looks like he will slot up top. Juergensmeyer able to shut the door before Brochu can stick his nose in. And now Thurston fiercely protecting the bottom from that 00 car. That's going to compromise his exit a little bit, as side draft from the 98 slows down both the 98 and the 00. And now the 98 of Sam Brochu moves into second place. That outside line down the back stretch is going to be a very dominant force, as Kenny Brady moves his way into third spot. So being stuck on the bottom, Juergensmeyer has gone nothing but backwards ever since he tried to make a move on Thurston, as the field is really starting to single out Juergensmeyer and Cole Denton, still battling side by side, but Denton's going to have the run down the back straight with help from Trevor Haley and Barrett Bohemus. Kenny Brady looking to make it 3 wide for the lead, as Sam Brochu sneaks to the outside of James Thurston. Thurston now with no help, as Brochu has the outside line. Will a slider be made? I think it's a little early for that, and James Thurston is just going to slot in right behind the number 98 of Brochu. And we have a new leader, the number 98 of Sam Brochu, as Kenny Brady looks to the outside of James Thurston. He's going to be followed by Cole Dent, as we were 3 wide for a second. We're still 3 wide. Payne Howell clips the apron a little bit, moves up the track, gets it, might have gone into Trevor Haley, as they almost got into each other again. Still 3 wide for... this is 6th place right here, I think. Or actually 7th place, my apologies. As Howell's moving up the track a little bit. Juergensmeyer getting really close to the wall, but still, they're keeping it clean. 3 wide. And Payne Howell now relegates that to 2 wide, as he'll have to back out of it. But Sam Brochu is now has a mirror full of Kenny Brady, as Brady moves into the 2nd spot and looking for glory for the lead. But Thurston, you know, who loves to run the high side, and that's what he's doing right now. He's going to get a great run, but will he use it to try to get to the inside of Kenny Brady, or will he try to make a different move? But here comes Kenny Brady to the inside of Sam Brochu, looking to lever his way to the lead. Ends turn 1, in turns 1 and 2. A little bit of contact. A little bit of door banging that got both cars sideways, and that'll slow up Kenny Brady a lot. It slowed Brady up a lot more than it did Brochu. But now Brady is stuck on the bottom, with his only help being Sean Rowe, as he now has to fend off Cole Denton, who gets a little loose on the outside, maybe a little bit of contact. And now Barrett Bohemus looking to make it 3 wide for the 3rd spot. We are 3 wide for position number 3. Sean Rowe looking to pounce on this situation unfolding right in front of him, as Barrett Bohemus is going to get a great run on the outside of Cole Denton, but Kenny Brady comes up to block it off. Now moves Sean Rowe into the top 5, as Brady runs the wall. Bohemus runs the middle, as we almost went 4 wide in the corner for a second. And now Bohemus trying to get to the outside of Brady if he can, because Bohemus seems to be very comfortable running the high side, but the caution just came out, and we will have to see what it is for. Reports are telling me that it might be for Aladim Contreras, who track marshals are telling me is driving slowly. So please hold on for just one moment while we get a look at what exactly happened. Okay, looking at Adam Contreras right now, coming down the front stretch, and he's got Andretti Robinson on his inside, right on his quarter panel. As they cross the start-finish line, it looks like Andretti Robinson might have came up a little bit, but at the same time, Contreras might have not known he was there, so that's just one of them things that happens when you can use the apron to your advantage. And let's get this up to full speed. As, yeah, Marabello gets a piece of it. And there was a car flying to the bottom. I don't know exactly who that was. I think it might have been Joseph Lewis, who scraped the inside tire barriers a little bit. That's unfortunate for Adam Contreras, who did not need that. But it looks like everyone's going down pit lane for a set of tires as Henry Califf stays out to lead a lap. And while we are under caution, this is a good opportunity to show a commercial from the league sponsor, Snowman Motorsports, or Snowman Studios Motorsports Design. One day I'll get that right.
Are you looking for something to make you look good out in front of your competitors? Well, look no further than Snowman Studios. SMS specializes in iRacing designs just for you, from NASCAR to IMSA to late models. SMS can make you a personalized paint. Snowman Studios, making you look good out front.
That was a pretty good commercial, if I'd say so myself, as Henry Califf still staying out. He's on 23 lap older tires than everyone else. I don't know if pit road was closed or something, but he's going to be restarting on the inside with 23 lap older tires than everyone behind him pretty much. Your top 10 right now, as we have 1 lap to green, is Henry Califf, Sam Brochu, Kenny Brady, James Thurston, Barrett Bohemus, Sean Rowe, Van Drummond, Jonathan Jergensmeyer, Peyton Howell, and Cole Denton. Rounding out your top 10, as I apologize for the sudden pauses in my speech, starting to get the hiccups. But this is an interesting strategy from Henry Califf, who made a lot of his playoff run last season through these types of decisions that ultimately ended up paying off. But this is an interesting choice to maybe try. Well, he already led the lap under caution, but maybe he's just trying to conserve a set. So if he's there at the end and everyone else burns through tires, but we'll never know. But it'll be interesting to see whether he tries to fight off the field or gracefully lets them by. But pace car is in, and we were waiting for Henry Califf to lead the field back to the green flag. Green flag is out, and Henry Califf with a great restart over Sam Brochu. Barrett Bohemus also gets a nice jump and is side by side with Sam Brochu as Califf blocks the bottom and still able to hold the lead. But we have our car spinning in the back as there might have been a pretty decently sized wreck that happened off screen. So let's go on standby one more time real quick to see the cause of this caution. Okay, looking at it right now, Austin Doran comes down and James Bomar comes up. And they meet in the middle. And, well, big hit for Dustin Marr, who I think him and Austin Doran were the only ones involved in that accident. It's very surprising that not more cars got involved. But Dustin Marr, coming off a strong third place finish, does get a meatball for that. One of them racing deals. Austin Doran did not know that Bomar was going to try and shoot the middle, and that just happens when lanes collide. But Henry Caloff still staying out, as this is, I believe, the third caution of tonight's event. And you know what they say, cautions breed cautions. Let's just hope that the caution bug goes away after this next restart, as we currently have 38 cars on the lead lap right now, and we have one retirement, and that is the number 77 of Tyler J. Curley. So, still, we have about 40 cars on the track right now. As Henry Caloff still choosing to not go down pit road to take tires. And he's going to lead the inside once again. Barrett Bohemus is going to be on his outside. Your top 10 right now. Didn't change much from last time. It's going to be Henry Caloff, Barrett Bohemus, Sam Brochu, Jonathan Juergensmeyer, James Thurston, Sean Rowe, Van Drummond, Payne Howell, Cole Denton, and Brian Lorenzo. Field bunching up right now. And Caloff is going to have to get another great start if he wants to keep the field behind him, because he's on a lot older tires. You saw how much the field grouped up behind him in the corners just from the tire difference, because they had so much more grip. But pace car lights are off. We're going green this time by. And it's going to be Henry Caloff on the inside leading the field to restart number 4, I believe. I think it's restart number 4. Pace car is in. And we're waiting for Henry Caloff to hit the loud pedal. Green flag is out. And another great restart by Henry Caloff. He's able to clear Bohemus on the outside, and Sam Brochu and Jonathan Juergensmeyer are very grateful to be on the inside with that good start. As the field goes side by side behind Henry Caloff into turns 1 and 2. And they remain side by side. Bladen Edwards, no, that's not Bladen Edwards, that's Brady Wildman making it 3 wide all the way on the bottom. That's not Kenny Brady, that is Payne House scraping the wall a little bit. Same with James Thurston, as Henry Caloff has still been able to keep the field behind him. A little bit of contact between Juergensmeyer and Brochu, but Brochu moves to the inside of Caloff, and he's going to move to the lead with the better tires in the corners. Now, how will the field react to Henry Caloff in their misses? They almost go 4 wide with Van Drummond all the way on the bottom. Juergensmeyer, a little bit of side contact with Sean Rowe. 3 wide entering turns 3 and 4. Juergensmeyer is going to get clear of that. He's going to move it to the middle and get a bump from Sean Rowe. 3 wide contact between Sean Rowe and James Thurston as Barrett Bohemus tries to get around Henry Caloff, but Caloff is fighting back. Here comes Van Drummond, 4 wide entering turns 1 and 2. What a move by Van Drummond. Will he be able to make it stick? He's got the inside and it looks like he sufficiently scared everyone on his outside as we have a car almost going around. That's Ryan Marabella with a great save across the nose of Ben T. Pierce. But now Van Drummond running the middle with Kaloff on his inside and Cole Denton on his outside. Right behind him is the number 1 of Brian Lorenzo, your pole sitter. And he's going to get right next to Cole Denton. He's going to shoot to the bottom right in front of the 63 of Kaloff. So Kaloff sliding back like a rock now. But Cole Denton's going to have the run on the outside. And he's going to be able to keep Van Drummond pinned on the inside as we were 3 wide for a second with Wildman, Edwards, and Henry Kaloff. And Henry Kaloff now starting to slide back as a result of those tires. But we're 3 wide once more with Wildman, Howell, and Haley. But Wildman backs off a little bit. And now Sam Brochu is trying his best to break the draft and pull away. But the field is desperately trying to catch him as we are going 3 wide way in the back here. As I don't know who that blue car was. That's the number 7 of Braden Hill. He was 3 wide for a second. As, now you can see the tires catching up to Henry Kaloff. As the fastest driver on track right now is the number 25 of Shockey Tarpey with a 29.845. I'm sure draft was a factor in his lap, but that is a very fast lap to be going 1.5 miles in under 30 seconds. But the field starting to catch up to Sam Brochu as James Thurston starts hunting him down, getting the run off the corner, and it's side by side for about 5th place right here between Cole Denton and Sean Rowe. Cole Denton on the outside, Sean Rowe on the inside, and James Thurston is looking to get a good run off the corner. If he pulls the inside, will anyone be with him to help him get around the 98? He's going to be looking high as he runs the middle, and Sam Brochu runs a more defensive line on the inside. And now Thurston's going to have a great run coming across the stripe. Will he use this to his advantage? It looks like he's going to stick right behind Brochu as Pohemus now looks to the inside of James Thurston. I apologize. As Cole Denton looks to his outside. And Cole Denton able to get across as Pohemus chops off the nose of Sean Rowe. Sean Rowe isn't going to be too happy about that, as he had to check up a lot and got on the wall a little bit. But now Cole Denton in 3rd place, giving help to James Thurston, who's going to go to the inside of Sam Brochu for the lead. Brochu's going to have the momentum on the top, and Cole Denton might have played James Thurston like a fiddle, because Denton's going to slip up top and go all the way past him. We are going 4 wide in the back. Kenny Brady making moves on Andretti Robinson, Nick Donati, and Andrew Cootie as they're getting really close together. Oh, Donati goes around, gets hooked by Cootie hard into the outside wall. Oh, goodness gracious. We could see that coming from a mile away the moment they went 4 wide. As Cootie and Donati definitely getting the worst of that. Let's get a replay up on the screen real quick to see what exactly caused that. Okay, so this is on the backstretch. Kenny Brady makes a 4 wide move on Donati, Andretti Robinson, and Cootie. That scares the 93 up. It gets into Robinson a little bit. And now Braden Hill makes it 4 wide, and they just don't know how to handle each other. And Cootie bounces off the wall into Robinson, and that collects the 93. Just an unfortunate consequence of the type of racing that Las Vegas produces with these cars. As the bright side is, I don't think anyone got a meatball from it. As Cootie fires back at Kenny Brady, giving him the door. I got back to the real-time camera at just the right moment, as Kenny Brady has a little bit of front end damage from running into the back of Ryan Marabello after that. But some cars are dropping into pit lane to get repairs and hopefully, yeah, for Henry Califf now in pit lane, to get fresher tires, because those things were probably Fred Flintstone tires by the end of that run. But your top 10, as it stands right now, with 2 laps to green, it is Sam Brochu, Cole Denton, Sean Rowe, Barrett Bohemus, Van Drummond, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Trevor Haley, Brian Lorenzo, Brady Wildman, and Peyton Howell. And just outside of the top 10, someone we haven't talked about a whole lot, Damian Vega at number 49. I believe this is his first SRL start. Doing pretty well for himself in 11th place. As Shockey Tyler, the man who set the fastest lap of the race with the 29.845, is in 12th. So, as we get more cautions and more cars are getting damaged, we are slowly having people who qualified near the back filter their way to the front. And something happened with James Bomar. As for some reason, my timing board said he was towed to pit lane, which isn't true. So, I guess a weird little bug right there, but still 2 laps to green here. Waiting for the pace car lights to come off. And someone I'm very impressed with is a 0-0 of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Started second and has been in the top 10 pretty much the entire race. Has even led some laps. So a very good first outing for that 0-0 car. As I don't believe that I've seen him in this league before. I might be very wrong. He might be a grizzled veteran of the SRL Snowman Studios Motorsports Designers Cup Series. But either way, my first time seeing him, he's made a very good first impression. But Sam Brochu is going to be the control car as the drivers choose their preferred lines this time by, hopefully. Apologize if you hear any weird noises. I move my mouse a lot when doing broadcasts so I can show various graphics or swap to different cars, and my finger keeps hitting the plate in front of me, making a weird noise. So let me move that out of the way. But it's gonna be Sam Brochu choosing the outside line. As he looks like he's more comfortable up there. And it's going to be Sean Rowe on the inside. And we know how much he loves to run the middle of these wide tracks with multiple lines. So the question is, if Sean Rowe gets a good restart, will he be... And he's able to be alongside Brochu. Will he force Brochu to run a higher line? Will he force Brochu to run a higher line while he runs the middle, or is he going to wrap that painted white line all the way on the bottom? We'll see when the pace car pulls into pit lane, and it's going to be Sam Brochu on the outside leading the field back to the green flag. Pace car's in. And green flag is out, and Brochu just barely nudges ahead of Sean Rowe. But I think that Sean Rowe is still on the inside coming to turn 1. Yes, he is. And Brochu was not clear, almost cleared himself off of Sean Rowe. But Sean Rowe is getting a tremendous shove from Barrett Bohemus as they are side by side down the back straight. The outside line is very dominant down the back straight. but Sean Rowe has the more advantaged line coming into turn 3, but he gets a little loose, has to back out of it, and now it is 3 wide for the lead as Barrett Bohemus looks to the inside of Sean Rowe. Now back to 2 wide for second place as Sam Brochu is able to use the speed off the corner to clear both Bohemus and Rowe. And now Bohemus slides up in front of Sean Rowe, and he's going to be the second car on the outside line. Cars two wide in the back, and now 3 wide as Payne Howell makes a move all the way up top on the outside of Trevor Brady. Gets in the wall a little bit, but no harm, no foul right now, as Brady is slinging it all the way up top. Or not Brady. Their cars look so familiar. Payne Howell, I apologize, Payne Howell. You can yell at me after this race. But now it is Brian Lorenzo making a move on Juergensmeyer and Payne Howell. And this is for about 7th place right now. Juergensmeyer looking to the outside of Howell, not able to get the run that he wants, though, as he's going to get passed by Wildman. And going back to the front, Barrett Bohemus is all over the back end of Sam Brochu. And Bohemus just not able to mount the run just yet. The run that he needs to get past the 98. As it is really a race to the top down the backstretch, as we saw Juergensmeyer clip the wall a little bit. Van Drummond to the outside of Sean Rowe, not able to make it happen, but he's going to have a heck of a run down the front straight, and he's going to get to the quarter panel of that 99 car with help from Trevor Haley. Cole Den moves to the outside along with Payne Howell. Now Sean Rowe and Sam Brochu are the only cars on the inside line all the way back to Brady Wellman. Sean Rowe is going to lose the position to Van Drummond. He's going to have to slot in behind him. Brian Lorenzo all the way on the bottom. Started on pole. He's back in 8th right now, and he's looking to make it 3 wide on Cole Den and Payne Howell. Payne Howell has to back out, and now Brian Lorenzo gets the spot from Howell, but he's going to push Cole Den for all he's worth as he looks to the outside of the 45, or the 46, my apologies. And it is 3 wide into turns 1 and 2. Howell slinging it all the way up top. He's going to have a great run off the corner if he can make this stick, and Cole Denton has to give him room. Car outside, and nice move by Payne Howell, and Brady Wildman looking to repeat the same thing that Payne Howell did in the 52 with the number 51 car. 3 wide across the start-finish line, but not much to work with as James Thurston makes look this 4 wide into turns 1 and 2. He's gonna sling it all the way on the bottom, and he's able to make it work. What a move by the 96, and he's able to clear the 51 of Wildman. What a move by James Thurston, picking off 3 cars with 1 fell swoop. As they still go back to three wide, Cole Den under attack from Vega as contact is being made between Damian Vega and Cole Denton. And now Juan Escamilla, the number 27, looking to make it 3 wide with him and Juergensmeyer and Damian Vega, as we are 4 wide with Henry Kaloff, Riley Marabello, Kenny Brady. Oh, hard into the wall goes Marabello and Martinez. We'll have to get a replay on that real quick because I don't know if Henry Kaloff got too aggressive or not. He's definitely on newer tires since he was one of the last cars to pit. But we'll have to get a replay on that real quick to see just exactly what happened. So, looking at Henry Kaloff right now, has that 1/8 speed in turn 2 right now, and it looks like Marabello. I think Kaloff came up a little bit, and Marabello was in the process of coming down, and that just sent Marabello up the track and got his car very unsettled. And that also got Nicholas Martinez Jr. involved as well. Very unfortunate that happened, and that's some pretty hefty front end damage for that 48. But he has a lot of time to repair that. So hopefully we can see him back on track soon, as I don't believe anyone got any meatball from that. But that was a very chaotic restart. With your top 10, as it stands right now, under caution, so we're not even halfway yet through this race. It's going to be Sam Brochu, Barrett Bohemus, Van Drummond, Trevor Haley, Payne Howell, James Thurston, coming in from out of nowhere with some bombastic moves. In 6th, then Brian Lorenzo, Brady Wildman, Shockey Tarpley makes his way into the top 10, and then Juan Escamilla. So definitely some crazy chaotic racing. And I do want to let everyone know that after this race, we will have a quite short break from SRL racing. I believe it will be 2 or 3 weeks. I believe it will be 2 weeks that we'll have no SRL, because it is the real-life NASCAR Cup Series Coke 600 at Charlotte. I know a lot of people who are going to that. Shout out GC Tropolis, but I think that's going to be a very interesting race, and it's certainly going to be interesting when SRL goes there, because when SRL went to Charlotte last season, it created one of the greatest battles that we've seen, and I believe it was between Sean Rowe and James Bomar. But it might have been James Bomar and James Thurston. I can't really remember. My memory is failing me a little bit right now. But pace car lights are off, so we are going green this time. Bye. The field bunching up again, and I wonder if we'll have a halftime caution, considering that it is so close to halfway. We're about 8 laps from halfway. The pace car is off, and it's going to be Sam Brochu on the outside, leading the field to the restart. Green flag is out, and Brochu and Bohemus get a much better start than everyone else, because Bohemus is able to be the second car, is able to be the first car on the outside, and Brochu is able to just clear Van Drummond, who has a little bit of left side damage. But now Bohemus is going to be riding the high side, as Payne Howell looks to go even higher up, and he's going to be running dang near the wall. And he's gonna come down right in front of James Thurston. Thurston had to check up a lot for Payne Howell not to come across his nose, as Van Drummond is running all the way on the bottom. Not a lot of help to help him out on that bottom. He's gonna slide up to the top real quick, as James Thurston gets a great run off the corner. He's gonna jump to the inside of Payne Howell for 3rd place. Here comes James Thurston running all the way on the bottom. Looks like he'll be able to clear the 52 of Payne Howell, and he's going to have a run on the 79 of Bohemus, using all of the apron that he can get to the inside. Looks like it's not able to materialize, but he's gonna dive to the inside while Bohemus runs the top. He's sliding all the way up, and he's going to side draft the 79. Will he be able to stay side by side with him coming into turns 3 and 4? Looks like he will. Great move by James Thurston to stay side by side with Bohemus, and he should be able to make the stick, considering a driver of his caliber. As Shockey Tarpley is battling hard in the back of this pack with Brian Lorenzo, but still side by side for 2nd place, as Thurston is doing everything he can, as we are 3 wide with Justin Rott, Brian Lorenzo, and Juan Escamilla. Justin Rott doing a very good job, 2 for 1 pass right there. But for the lead. Thurston looking to the inside of Barrett Pohemus, and he might be able to make it stick through turns 1 and 2, especially if Pohemus has to check up for a sliding Brochu, but Trevor Brady goes around 360, and I think he did a great job of saving it. But now Thurston gets to the inside of Brochu and moves him up the track. Brochu almost gets in the wall. Here comes Pohemus. We are 3 wide for the lead, coming to lap number 59. 3 wide, and they are maintaining that 3 wide formation. Pohemus in the top, Brochu in the middle. Contact between Brochu and James Thurston all the way on the bottom. They are still leaning on each other through the corner. How are they keeping it straight? 3 wide down the backstretch. Contact between Brochu and Pohemus. And now Pohemus gets the best of it, but they are still 3 wide through turns 3 and 4. Thurston running the bottom, Brochu running the middle, and they still keep it straight. And Pohemus is going to lead that lap, but they are maintaining 3 by 3. Brochu gets moved back 1 row, and now Pohemus and Thurston are going to be battling for the lead, but this can go 3 wide again real soon as Justin Rott moves to the bottom of this second row right here, and Peyton Howell bouncing off the wall, and the number 98 coming to lap number 61. Pohemus sliding backwards on the top, and Justin Rott contact with the number 98. He's going to cross the line in second, coming to lap number 61, and the caution for halftime does come out. What a charge by the number 67 from outside the top 10 on that restart into second place. And what a battle it was for those halftime points. But caution does come out for halftime, as this caution gives me an excuse to switch the ticker graphic to laps to go now. Okay. And we got lots of beef going on in SRL right now. Discord is wild, and as drivers not happy with each other's actions, have heated exchanges through the messaging app. But everyone comes into pit lane for halftime, and it's going to be James Thurston leading Justin Rott. Great performance by Justin Rott. I can't really sing his praise enough, as that is Cole Dent and Sean Rowe staying out from that top 10. But yeah, you saw how early Justin Rott's pit stall was. That's just a testament to how far back he qualified. But Cole Dent and Sean Rowe staying out, as the 85 of David Joyner is the lucky dog, and he will go from 8 laps down to 7 laps down with this. So good to see him still hanging in there, as he will dive into pit lane. But your top 10, as it stands right now at halftime, is Cole Denton, Sean Rowe, Noah Larson, Henry Caloff, Nick Donati, Braden Hill, James Thurston, Sam Brochu, Justin Rott, and Barrett Pohemus. We'll have to see if this is subject to change once we go around pit lane one more time, if anyone decides to hop in. And it looks like they elect not to. And most of the drivers within the top 6, all the drivers in the top 6 are on tires with about 10 laps on them. So that's going to be a that's a pretty big block of cars with 10 laps extra on their tires at a track where grip is so important in the corners. So we're definitely looking for a very interesting return from a halftime, but pace car lights are off, and it's going to be Cole Denton controlling the field on the outside. But 57 laps to go here at Las Vegas. Just under halfway. Pace car lights off, and everyone's waiting for Cole Denton to hit the loud pedal on this restart to bring us back from halftime. Pace car is in, and now we're waiting on the number 46 to hit the gas. Green flag is out, and a great restart by Cole Den. He's able to put a pretty hefty gap on Noah Larson and Sean Rowe. He's able to pick whatever line he chooses, but the field bunches up like crazy in the back as Sam Brochu goes around across the nose of Wildman, and he's still going around in front of the entire field, and Bauman, woo, good save by Bauman to not absolutely destroy the number 98, but that was a pretty crazy restart. Let's get a replay on that real quick just to see what exactly happened. Chase Carl is not happy with that. He says he just fixed his damage and he got more damage from that. So off the restart, currently looking at Sam Brochu right now. Tries to get to the inside of Thurston to make it 4 wide, but Brady Wildman is there. And I don't think Sam Brochu knew Brady Wildman was there. A great save as the field really stacks up. And Chase Crawl gets into Sam Brochu, not really anywhere he could go, as there's a car trying to save it on the bottom. And he has pretty much everyone up top. And now James Bomar comes up and just ever so slightly clips Nicholas Bauman in the number 8. And Bauman is set to just wipe out the 98. But at the right moment, he slams on the brakes. And really the worst that he received was a little tap from just a little tap from the 30 of Matthew Miles. I kind of want to get an onboard with Nicholas Bauman to see what he was seeing. So we got an onboard view with Nicholas Bauman coming right up. What a great save by Nicholas Bauman to not hit Sam Brochu. And that's probably the reason why Brochu and Bauman are both able to not have to pit for damages heavier than Brochu already got. But Cole Den is still leading the way. 54 laps to go here. As I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what caution we're on right now. And it is getting pretty heated between some of the drivers who got involved in accidents earlier in this race. Let's get a better camera angle. This TV1 camera is pretty much like a Fox close-up angle, and I am a close-up not enjoyer of it. But I believe that we're having a single file restart because of the amount of wrecks that we've had on restarts. Let me go on standby real quick just to see. As yes, league admin Bryce Hamrick had set the restarts to single file for this restart. So everyone up top, no lane choice here. And it's going to be Cole Denton leading a single file field to the end on a pretty peculiar looking restart. But sometimes that happens when a wreck happens right after the green flag drops. But green flag is out, and Cole Denton shoots to the bottom. Henry Caloff all over the back end of Sean Rowe to ensure that they get a good start as Payne Howell jumps to the inside of Justin Rott. And now Justin Rott getting split 3 by multiple different cars. I guess he just didn't get that great of a restart, as that is Nick Donati in the number 93 in front of him. And now Justin Rott looking to the inside, looking to make it 3 wide on Donati and James Thurston. And still 3 wide between Thurston, Donati, and I completely lost the script. Sorry. Van Drummond, Donati, and Shockey Tarpley. As Bladen Edwards almost hits the wall all the way up top. As this is where the closest racing is. Justin Rott scraped the wall a little bit, and that checked up pretty much everyone. And Andretti Robinson now going 3 wide with Donati, as there's a car on the wall. That is the number 7 of Braden Hill. He might have... I think he has a lot of damage on that right front. Very lucky that no one hit him. But Cole Denton is maintaining a very commanding distance right now from Sean Rowe. As looking near the back where the most action is, Andretti Robinson trying to get a move done on Nick Donati for that 10th spot. Able to slide in as we are going 3 wide in the back for about 15th right here. Kenny Brady just barely able to squeeze through the middle on the outside of Brady Wildman, and I believe that's Ryan Nardone in the number 29. But mostly single file racing here, as yes, Braden Hill did have to pull into pit lane. Connor Zola in the 13, running in 14th right now. Not too much happening throughout the field. Van Drummond locked to the back bumper of James Thurston with Justin Rott right behind him. Here comes Drummond on the outside of Thurston, and he's going to power by him on the outside. Henry Caloff falls to 4th spot, but now Thurston is stuck on the bottom with Justin Rott on his outside. And will Rott be able to power by on the outside with help from Van Drummond? Yes, he will. And Justin Rott remains in the 7th position. But fastest lap right now is from that number 2. Actually, just as I'm saying that, Sam Brochu sets the fastest lap in the number 98. And he is all the way back in 26th right now. So he's really in the trenches as Van Drummond makes a move on Payne Howell. I think Payne Howell got a little loose and got on the wall a little bit. And so he was all the way up the track as Drummond now sets his sights on Henry Caloff. Makes easy work of getting to his inside. Caloff just looking to ride around, it seems, with 46 laps to go. And in the back, James Thurston and a big gaggle of cars. But Henry Caloff able to almost pull clear of Van Drummond, but now Drummond's going to have the run off the corner. Gets into him a little bit, I believe, and is running as close to the grass as he can to try to minimize the effects of side draft. And he'll be able to clear Caloff into turn 2. It would just barely clear him. But for about 10th place, things are heating up. 14th place, Bladen Edwards looking to go to the inside of Trevor Haley, not able to make anything happen. And Connor Zola in 12th on the outside of Andretti Robinson, hungry for a top 10, as he's working that outside of Andretti Robinson. And Nick Donati in the number 93 on the outside of Juan Escamilla. Looks like Justin Rott might have slowed up a lot as he's slid back quite a bit, as Payne Howell running that high side. But here's Connor Zola to the inside of the 93, looking to follow Escamilla to Kingdom Come. And I thought he was going to go 3 wide for a second, but he thought better of it. And he's going to try to push Escamilla on the inside, as he's now locked in a side-by-side battle with the number 93. And Trevor Haley jumps up top to get that really good run down the back stretch. But Donati's not blocking all the way to the bottom, as we have Shockey Tarpley battling with Justin Rott for 7th place, and Peyton Howe and Henry Kaloff duking it out for 6th right in front of him. That's creating a very big separation to these top 4 drivers of Van Drummond, Sean Rowe, Barrett Bohemus, and Cole Denton, as all the way up front they are just working together, not trying to cause too much drama, as Justin Rott is the first car side by side with another car. That is until Shockey Tarpley gets a great run on the outside of Henry Kaloff. Kaloff sliding back after this restart, stuck on the inside. I think he wants to go to the outside, but he's just getting freight trained right now. Shockey Tarpley makes a move, but Kaloff still not clear, as he's got Juan Escamilla and about 10 other cars hungry to get on his outside, and the only car to help him out is too far away to push him. Shockey Tarpley running that middle lane. Will Escamilla try to jump to the bottom? No, he won't, as now Shockey Tarpley is side by side with Peyton Howe almost, as I think he had a check up coming across the stripe to not hit the 52, and now Shockey Tarpley to the inside of Peyton Howe, as for the lead we have a battle brewing. Barrett Bohemus has gone around Cole Denton, as these top 4 are battling it out. Bohemus running the middle, Cole Denton running the bottom. Denton gets a little loose and has to lift to not spin the car. And it's Van Drummond moving into second place as we drop below 40 to go. Van Drummond looking to the inside of Bohemus. Bohemus running that middle lane. And looks like everything has sorted itself out. But Kenny Brady makes a move on Peyton Howe and is able to clear him off of turn 2, coming into turn 3, and Brady is running about a third lane, and he's going to get to the outside of Shockey Tarpley with a great run off the corner side by side, entering turn 1 for Kenny Brady, and he's going to be able to make the stick, as Shockey Tarpley has to get out of the gas a little bit. 3 wide in the back between Andretti Robinson, Juan Escamilla, and Brian Lorenzo. But for the lead, Van Drummond is under attack from Sean Rowe, as Sean Rowe is able to almost get to his quarter panel out of turns 3 and 4, and they're starting to pull away from the 46 of Cole Denton, and Van Drummond looking to the inside of Barrett Bohemus in the number 79. Drummond's going to have the inside down the back straight, but Bohemus is going to get a shove from Sean Rowe to keep him ahead. Will Drummond be able to make this stick for the lead all the way on the bottom? But the caution comes out while we are looking at this battle for the lead, as I believe James Thurston might have been involved in it. But let's get a replay going real quick to see the cause of that accident. Looking at James Thurston right now, trying to get passed by John Lynch. It looks like John Lynch got sideways and got loose and got into James Thurston. Thurston trying to save it while keeping up momentum, not able to make it happen. Spins right in front of Nicholas Baumann, and nowhere for Baumann to go, unfortunately. he did so well. He did so well avoiding Sam Proto that last wreck, and he just could not avoid James Thurston fishtailing in front of the field, as Bauman disconnected pretty quickly from this. I don't think he was too happy about what happened. As yeah, he is definitely not happy about that, as he instantly towed that car. But I was about to say in the lead. I didn't have it caught up to real time, because I was like, in the lead right now is Brian Lorenzo, like what? And then I realized I was in the past. But 35 laps to go, and Barrett Bohemus is currently leading the field right now, and Connor Zola, I wonder if he made a 2-tire stop, because he jumped up from about 10th to 2nd. If only I could see how fast that pit stop. Yeah, it looks like 2 tires for Connor Zola. Everyone was setting about 14-second lap times, or not lap times, pit stop times. And Connor Zola, well, looks like he wants to get the rest of his tires too, because he was only in there for about 6 seconds. He might have only gotten fuel accidentally that caution, so he wants to get tires on that car. But pace car lights are off, and let's go back to our normal wide angle here, as Barrett Bohemus is leading this race. He's going to be the control car on the outside for this restart with 34 laps to go here. But he's got a very hard charging Van Drummond on his inside, and Drummond is very good at running that inside. Sean Rowe is going to be the main source of help for Bohemus to try to fight off Van Drummond, and Kenny Brady, who's been racing pretty aggressively, has made his way into the top 5. Your top 5 is Barrett Bohemus, Van Drummond, Sean Rowe, Kenny Brady, and Cole Denton. Pace car is just about to pull in, and we are going to be going green with 34, coming to 33 laps to go. Green flag is out, and a nice shove from Sean Rowe to Bohemus is able to get Bohemus clear of Van Drummond, and he's going to jump to the bottom immediately and then sweep up top to get a better entry into turns 1 and 2. Van Drummond all the way on the bottom. He's probably going to be able to get clear of Sean Rowe. He's actually not, as Sean Rowe powers by on the outside, getting a great run down the back as we are going 3 wide in the back. James Bomar to the inside of Brian Lorenzo back there, but we are focused on this battle for the lead, as Sean Rowe trying to get as good of a run as that's Cole Denton going down into the grass. It's very possible that he hit the inside, that he might have hit the pit wall, as Trevor Haley gets put in the wall coming into turn 1, as I think the caution might come out soon, and it does. We have a car in the wall. So, multiple crazy things happening. Let's get a replay on what happened to Cole Denton and what happened with Trevor Haley. Oh, whoops. Sorry for showing the iRacing UI for a second. But it looks like Cole Denton bounces off the wall, and Kenny Brady just was on his quarter panel when he hit the wall. And that's what sent Denton around. Good job keeping that thing straight throughout the very bumpy infield and not just immediately flying up into the rest of the field. And let's And let me get a replay real quick on what happened with the 12 of Trevor Haley. So it looks like Trevor Haley tried to come down a side draft with Andretti Robinson. As you can see that gold car at the edge of the frame, and then just didn't realize Andretti Robinson was as far up as he was, and gets in the wall a little bit. And then Riley Marabello tries to take advantage of this situation to go 3 wide, does not realize that James Bomar is on his inside, and just barely clips him. Brian Lorenzo sends him around, as I don't think too much damage was given out to anyone. Looks like no black flags were, or no, not black flags, no meatball flags were given out to any driver during that wacky restart. But as we go through another caution period, your top 10 as it stands: Barrett Polhemus, Sean Rowe, Van Drummond, Kenny Brady, Chucky Tarpley makes his way into the top 5, Bladen Edwards in 6th, then Juan Escamilla, Justin Rott, Trevor Haley, and Andretti Robinson rounding out your current top 10, as we are about to drop below 30 to go. Apologize for the stunned silence. Just got showed some horrific things. But Barry Bohem is choosing to or electing to use the outside line, as Sean Rowe is going to be on the inside, and someone who's been working the top really well, Kenny Brady, in that number 44, is going to be restarting on the outside. So it's going to be Barrett Polhemus in the number 79 as the control car. As let's see how many cars we still have on the track right now. And it looks like we got 34 cars still on the track, and we got 31 on the lead lap. So we still have many cars battling for points here. But it's going to be Barrett Polhemus to see if he can outduel the number 99 of Sean Rowe. Sean Rowe is very good on these restarts when it matters the most, as the field starts to bunch up. Pretty big distance between leaders and second, as Barrett Polhemus gets a better restart than Sean Rowe and is able to clear him. And Kenny Brady all over the back end of Polhemus coming into turns 1 and 2. Brady running the middle, and as we are going 3 wide in the back with Henry Caloff in the middle, getting pushed by James Thurston, as Kenny Brady goes to the outside of Sean Rowe, using that middle lane that he likes to use so much, but he slides up a little bit too much, and here comes Bladen Edwards with a run. Brady into the wall a little bit. Bladen Edwards with a big run and a nice shove to the back of Brady in that number 54. Side by side for second between Brady and Rowe in turn 2. Coming out onto the backstretch, Brady's going to have a great run, and the draft from Polhemus to clear him. And now Bladen Edwards jumps to the inside of Sean Rowe for the 3rd spot. And Sean Rowe's going to have to run off the corner, as Kenny Brady is really quickly hunting down Barrett Polhemus. Almost gets to his outside, and he might try to make a move in this corner, and not able to get close enough. But you know that he's going to have a heck of a run down the backstretch, and that is the 98 of Sam Brochu making his way back into the top 5 in that blue car on the outside, as he's trying to work around Bladen Edwards in that number 26 with 25 laps to go here. Shockey Tarpley sets the fastest lap once again with a 29.725. But they are too wide, about 4 rows deep here for 5th place, as Sam Brochu finally gets free of Bladen Edwards, as Bladen Edwards is still stuck on the bottom, clips the apron a little bit, and Van Drummond is running Juan Escamilla almost into the wall. Juan Escamilla not showing his pleasure with Van Drummond for almost walling him right there, as it is really close racing. But for the lead, Kenny Brady almost gets to the inside of Barrett Pohemus. And it looks like he's just not able to manifest the runs that he needs, as him looking to the inside of Pohemus for a second is allowing Sean Rowe to catch up to him in that number 99 and bringing the cavalry with him, as the rest of the field trying to catch up, as Chase Crawl in the number 88 jumps to the bottom. He's going to go 3 wide with Van Drummond and Trevor Brady not able to make any headway, as he has to get off the gas to avoid getting into Drummond. But a very abrupt move to the inside. And he's going to try it again. Almost gets into Van Drummond. Has to get off a lot to not hit that number 2 car, as his efforts are seemingly futile. Not able to just make any headway, and is ending up losing positions as the caution comes out for, I believe, Cole Denton. Sorry, not Cole Denton. Nick Donati. Looks like Quincy Strawhacker not too happy with him, giving him a little unceremonious shot at the end. And yeah, Donati has to park it. So we'll have to see what happened here to bring out this caution. So looking at the number 93 of Nick Donati, running that middle lane, and it seems like he tries to go to the bottom, but Quincy Strawhacker in that black and yellow number 23 is already there and just gets into his quarter panel, and that sends an already loose Donati around, and then Donati gets into Strawhacker again, and that collects a 29 of Nardone. And geez, did not hold the brakes at all to Nicholas Donati, and he's got a broken right rear. So that car most likely is not finishing this race here. Coming to 20 laps to go. And it's still Barrett Pohemus leading the way. Excuse me for just 1 second. Okay. Barrett Pohemus still leading and wondering what line he's going to choose, because if he chooses the outside, will Kenny Brady follow him up there? Will Kenny Brady try to go for the inside line? But 20 laps to go here, getting into the final stage of this race. And my timing board is telling me that if this goes green to the end, it'll be about 10 minutes of green flag racing, which, if you've watched the SRL Snowman Studios Motorsports Designs Cup Series at all, you know just how fast 20 laps at these 1.5 milers can fly by. So let me just prove a point to someone real quick. Okay, but pace cars are still on, so we still got at least 2 more laps before we go green. So we're looking at a 17 to go restart here.
Oh, what an interception! Oh my God, he ran all the way back.
But your current top 10 as it stands right now, as various sources within the garage is telling me that Nick Donetti in the number 93 is not very happy with the actions of Quincy Strawhacker after that caution. Just unverified rumors that the garage is telling me, though. And your top 10 as it stands right now: Barrett Bohemus, Kenny Brady, Sam Brochu, Juan Escamillo. Great run by him. He's in 4th right now. Boyden Edwards, Trevor Haley, Damian Vega has his first taste of the top 10. And then Andretti Robinson, Payne Howell, and rounding out the top 10 is Brady Wildman. As that's the 29 of Ryan Nardone. Just barely getting out of pit lane before the pace car comes by to lap him. But we will have a 17 to go restart here. Hopefully we can make it to the end, but as with most iRacing late race restarts, cautions inevitably breed cautions as cars try to get very aggressive to get as many spots as they can. And something that I neglected to mention is that the majority of the top half of the field is on older tires. First car not on old tires is Sean Rowe in 14th, and he's about 15 lap fresher tires. So these drivers are definitely going to be more aggressive to carve their way through the field, but it's going to be Barrett Bohemus leading the field to a critical restart, coming to 17 to go here in the Shooey Sportsbook 180. Green flag is out, and a big stack up on the inside line. Andretti Robinson just did not go after bumping into Sam Brochu as Kenny Brady tries to make a move 3 wide, and Brochu almost gets into Brady. He got it. He made a little bit of contact and almost spun around. But now the field is desperately trying to free themselves as we are going 4 and 5 wide. Car around. It's Van Drummond in the number 2 going around in the back as I saw him get really sideways and I think go around. And there is some front end damage to that 2 car. And he does not look very happy. So let's get a replay before we see anything happen. Ooh. If you want a definition of cluster, this is what it is. Looking at Van Drummond in the number 2, running all the way on the outside, makes it 4 wide down the back straight. I don't think anyone was really expecting it. Running all the way close to the wall as they go 5 wide. You can't really see it, but a car, I believe it's Chase Crawl, is pretty slow on the inside, and it looks like Van Drummond scrapes the wall a little bit and gets off it, and Justin Rott did not know how close he was to Van Drummond and just ever so slightly nudged the 2, and that sent the 2 who was already steering to get off the wall into a big slide right in front of James Bomar. And Justin Rott, he does give him a big hit in that left rear wheel well, and Drummond got most of his front end damage actually from hitting the side of Adam Contreras, as I'd say, Ooh, that's also a pretty hard lick to the outside wall for that 2 car. I was about to say that he made a good job of not hitting the wall, but he obviously did. As Van Drummond did have to go down pit lane for repairs. Same with Justin Rott. And this is a pretty big shakeup, as the top 10 right now is Barrett Pohemus, then Sam Brochu, Kenny Brady, Peyton Howell, Blaine Edwards, Juan Escamilla, Trevor Haley, Connor Zola makes his way into the top 10. Excuse me, I had a little burp right there. Connor Zola makes his way into the top 10. Then it is Ben Pierce making his way into the top 10 in that number 65, and then Sean Rowe. Sean Rowe with fresher tires than the rest of the field. He's only on 6-lap old tires, while the rest of the field, or while everyone in front of him, is on 20 or is on 16-lap or older tires. So out of this top 5 or 6, person with the freshest tires is Connor Zola, who's on 16-lap old tires compared to everyone either having 20 or 21-lap old tires. But the biggest difference is definitely going to be Sean Rowe in the number 99 back in 10th. He's only on 6-lap old tires. But the field is coming through turns 3 and 4, getting ready for another crucial restart, as Barrett Pohemus is going to be the control car. Pace car is in, and it's going to be Barrett Pohemus leading the field on the outside. Big shot from Sam Proust that might have actually given him a little bit of front end damage from how hard he hit that 79. But a big shot is necessary to get Pohemus all the way out to the front. And Kenny Brady stuck on the bottom, getting pinched by the number 98 as Payne Howell is pushing. Whoa, Payne Howell goes sideways. Boom, chase crawl hard into him. Caution comes out. Oh, big hit for the number 88. That car is pinned against the wall, and we have 3 cars receiving a meatball. Adam Contreras. We have 4 cars. Let's get a replay of that real quick, because that was a very big wreck. And race control is telling me that we are going to be single file next restart. So looking at the 52 of Peyton Howell, tries to slot in between Juan Escamilla and Kenny Brady. Escamilla's nose was already there, and Howell just makes an ill-advised move. It was the right move, but it was at the wrong time. Howell just not able to get to the inside, and Chase Crawl, nowhere for him to go. Seems to be one of the unluckiest drivers, as Adam Contreras hits him pretty hard, and then Brian Lorenzo gets lifted into the air and by James Bomar into the catch fence of turn 3, and has a wild ride here. Are bouncing and sparking all over the place. Let's see that at full speed. Checks up, gets hit by Bomar, and then just I don't even know what happened. I think Bomar was having. Yeah, I think he was having internet issues or processor issues, and the car netcoded into Brian Lorenzo and set our pole sitter into the air and into the turn 3 catch fence. And what has turned from a race at Las Vegas has gone into what can more accurately be described as a destruction derby, as we're going to be restarting with, I believe, 9 laps to go. Your top 10 at the moment: Barrett Bohemus, Sam Brochu, Kenny Brady, Bladen Edwards, Connor Zola, Juan Escamilla, Trevor Haley, Ben T. Pierce, Sean Rowe, and James Thurston in your top 10. Base car lights are off, and it's going to be or I was about to say Barrett Bohemus choosing the outside line, but I forgot that league admin Bryce Hamrick made the research for this single file. As that worked the last restart to have a few laps of green flag racing. So hopefully this can we can have a green flag run to the end. But Barrett Bohemus is in a very good spot right now. First car with fresh tires is the number 99 of Sean Rowe, all the way back in, I believe, 8th place. 9th place. Yeah, as he's on 10-lap old tires, but surely they've gotten enough feed into the tires that it doesn't really matter for these short runs too much. But everyone near the wall as we are going racing again with 9 laps to go here. And a big gap between Sam Brochu and Barrett Bohemus. I think Brochu was trying to jump the start a little bit to get closer to his 79, and it just didn't work out. Field all sorts of spread out right now, as Sam Brochu tries to catch the number 79, as they were going side by side for a second, but they got that all sorted out. I think near the back they almost went 3 wide, but nothing much happening. Kenny Brady to the outside to get a run on Sam Brochu. Able to get to his back bumper. Will he be able to get around the 98? And Brochu with a big block on Kenny Brady, and it was a clean block too, but Kenny Brady's definitely not going to be happy with the 98, running him all the way up the track into turn 3, moves him out of the way, and now Sam Brochu is behind that number 44 of Kenny Brady, as Brady now has the daunting task of catching that number 79 of Barrett Bohemus, with a pack of Hornets right behind him. Essentially the top cars from 3rd to 7th right there, all trying to catch up at the same time. 7 laps to go. Time is running out. Bladen Edwards looking to the inside of Sam Brochu. Gonna be able to clear him, as Sam Brochu trying his best to slow up Bladen Edwards, but it is not working out. As Sean Rowe dives to the inside using his better tires, as Trevor Haley gets really, really loose on the outside, and Sean Rowe is able to get into the outside line. But Kenny Brady is making up a lot of time on Barrett Bohemus. Bohemus running the bottom. He's going to block up top. Brady and Bohemus race into the apron, and almost contact between the two. They definitely bumped fenders, but now Bohemus trying to fend off the 54 of Kenny Brady. Brady gets tight, but they're racing each other very cleanly. Side by side, Bladen Edwards licking his lips right now as he's getting closer and closer with these cars side drafting each other. Brady clips the apron a little bit. He's going to have to let off the gas, and it's still side by side between the 79 and the 54. Coming to 4 laps to go. Bohemus is not clear of Brady, and they are side drafting the heck out of each other coming into the corners. Bohemus up top, and Brady running the middle. Bladen Edwards is very quickly reeling both of these drivers in. We could have a 3-way battle for the lead soon, and maybe even more cars battling for the lead, depending on how much these drivers slow each other up. Bohemus still with the advantage. Kenny Brady doing everything he can to keep himself locked with Bohemus. A little bit of door contact, and now Bladen Edwards into the mix. Here comes Sean Rowe. He's within 0.3 of a second with fresher tires, and he's gonna have to pull out a miracle if he wants to get around Bladen Edwards and Kenny Brady. Bladen Edwards with a big block on Sean Rowe. Sean Rowe diving back to the inside. Coming to 2 to go. Brady running all the way on the bottom. Bohemus running the top. Bohemus is going to have a great run off the corner, but it's not going to matter with the side draft from Kenny Brady. 2 laps to go. They are dead even coming into turn 1. Bohemus in the middle. Brady running all the way on the bottom. He's going to wrap that line, but Bohemus pinches him a little bit. Brady has to lift to not get into Bohemus. Side-by-side contact is made. And they are still side-by-side entering turn 3. Bohemus is not clear of Brady. Coming to the white flag. Bohemus runs up really high. Will Brady be able to pull off the slide job? No, he won't. Still quarter panel forward. Bohemus side-by-side coming to the white flag. Here comes Sean Rowe in the number 99. He's inserted himself into the mix. It's going to be Kenny Brady, Sean Rowe, and Barrett Bohemus duking out for the win of the Shooey Sportsbook 180. Brady to the inside, not able to get clear of Bohemus. Bohemus is going to have to run down the backstretch. Brady with the side draft. Sean Rowe makes it 3 wide. Bohemus gets turned by Brady, and Sean Rowe levers his way to the front. Bohemus gets turned by by Kenny Brady, and it's going to be Sean Rowe crossing the line in first. And Bladen Edwards is going to finish in second. Oh, Bohemus is not happy about that at all. We have drama here at Las Vegas. As before we do interviews or anything, let's get a replay of what happened on that final lap, because I don't know if Bohemus came down. So let me get a roll bar view of Kenny Brady. Okay, so looking at Kenny Brady down the backstretch, this is the white flag, side drafting with Bohemus, and I'm inclined to say that I think Brady came up a little bit into Bohemus. It's a little unrealistic, but let's get a chase cam of that just to make sure I'm correct and I'm not faulting the wrong person. I'd say I was wrong on my initial statement. Bohemus definitely came down across Kenny Brady. I don't think Bohemus knew that Sean Rowe was making it 3 and that Kenny Brady couldn't really go any lower. And just an unfortunate circumstance, and very lucky for Sean Rowe to netcode through Bohemus to not slow him up too much, or else this would have been a Bladen Edwards win. But let's get the results done real quick. Let me get this off your screen. So for the results, there we go. Sean Rowe wins the Shooey Sportsbook 180 here at Las Vegas, followed by Bladen Edwards. A very clean and quiet second place for him. In third is the number 96 of James Thurston, followed by the 12 of Trevor Haley. Strong showing from both him and the 27 of Juan Escamilla. Finishing in fifth, Kenny Brady goes from second to sixth on the final lap in that number 54. And behind him in his first start is the number 49 of Damian Vega. Very strong run from him. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, strong impression from the 00. Led a couple laps and was up front for most of the race. Finishing in 8th, Henry Kaloff in 9th in the number 63, and Austin Doran coming home in 10th after an earlier wreck. First car outside the top 10 is the number 13 of Connor Zola, followed by Sam Brochu and Van Drummond. John Lynch in the number 50 finishes in 14th, followed by Andretti Robinson. Ben T. Pierce drops from within the top 10 to 16th, followed by Justin Rott and Matthew Miles. Ryan Nardone finishes in 19th, and Cole Denton in number 46 is the last driver to finish within the top 20. First driver outside the top 21 is Shockey Tarpley in the number 25, followed by Riley Marabello and Brady Wildman. Barrett Bohemus goes from leading most of the race to finishing the last car on the lead lap. Heartbreak for that number 79, finishing in 24th. Quincy Strawhacker is the first car to finish one lap down in 25th in that number 23 car, followed by David Joyner, the Nicholas Martinez Jr., Adam Contreras, Brian Lorenzo, Peyton Howell. And that is your last car to finish this race. James Bomar, the first car to DNF from this race in that number 20 in 31st, followed by Chase Carl, Joseph Lewis, then Nick Donati, Nicholas Bauman, Braden Hill, Noah Larson, Philip Pinion II, Andrew Cootie, Dustin Marr, Amir Bescombe, and Tyler Curley. And the rest of the field did not qualify. Every driver behind 42nd. So now that is done with, let's go to standby real quick so I can get interviews ready.
This 5 back line I got going on here.
Okay, and coming home in first place after a dramatic last lap is the number 99 of Sean Rowe. Do you got a copy?
Yes.
So, what were your thoughts on that last lap? I mean, you're in the perfect position, and how'd you set yourself up to get into that position to eventually end up winning the whole thing?
Yeah, like, I think with like 10 to go, I was just like, I'm full sending this. If I wreck someone, it is what it is. And on that last lap, I knew I couldn't just wait around for the front stretch because I feel like I was better like through 3 and 4 than them since I had fresher tires. But I had to run off at 2, and I just had to send it. And, you know, luckily they wrecked each other because I'm not sure I was making that corner stick. Being bottom 3, it probably would have got really tight for me. But, yeah, I got pretty lucky there and thought my race was over with about 20 to go with all the yellows we had. I thought the tires wouldn't have enough time to kick in and pay off. But, you know, I was on flow state. I was flying through the field with Thurston there. And, you know, luckily got a little bit of luck at the final corner and got it done.
Yeah, so with this win, how are you viewing the rest of the season? Like, how are you viewing your chances to get into the chase? Because we know that now it's I believe it's a 10. It's like the original 2004 chase. So it's like 10 cars making it into the chase. So how do you view your chances of getting into that now that you have a win under your belt for the season?
It's pretty good. Last year was a little different playoffs wise with me, where I was a wild card and we had a weird bracket type thing. But I'm gonna hopefully not have to bank on the win helping me get in this time, and hopefully I can just run up front. Daytona was a little messy. Auto Club had a lot of speed, put it together here, but I feel like most races this season I'm gonna just be pushing it, trying to run top 5 for a while and just be aggressive and try to learn, and hopefully by playoff time we'll be one of the best in the field.
So, before we let you go and celebrate your crazy win, do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank PBR, Zachary Todriff, Adam Contreras, my teammate in this. Tyler Curley, if he's watching, I don't know, he got wrecked out pretty early, so it is what it is for him. Yeah, I want to thank you guys for putting these streams up. They're pretty nice to look back on and watch in a couple of days. I mean, I'm not sponsored by them, but I am sponsored by them. So, Baby Ruth is one of the best candy bars out there, and I won't hear anything about it. Ghost Hydration or Ghost or whatever. That's a pretty cool drink. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Pretty fun race there.
Well, that's the words of our winner, the number 99 of Sean Rowe, coming home first in a very dramatic win here at Las Vegas. We'll see you next week. Or not next week because we got the break.
We got a few weeks
We'll
off.
see you next race. How about that?
Yeah, see you next time.
Okay, and in second is Bladen Edwards. Let me see if I can get him into the booth real quick. Coming home in second is the number 26 of Bladen Edwards. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
So, 3 straight races, 3 straight podium interviews. What was this? What's the secret to having these? Because at Auto Club and Las Vegas, you had a pretty uneventful, but you ended up finishing on the podium, so you were doing something right. What was your plan for tonight's event with how crazy it got?
My plan honestly was to literally just ride. I ran the bottom for like 95% of the race until like the final 20 laps, and I was just trying to save tires, hoping for a long run. I found myself buried in the field a couple of times, but I was able to kind of work my way through with the wrecks and then pit stops and all that stuff. And I just found myself, like Auto Club in Daytona, I found myself racing for the win at the end.
That's true. You got to have a clean car to be battling for the win at the end. So now that you have 3 straight podiums to have under your belt and a win at the Daytona 250, what's your outlook on the rest of the season to try to get into this chase? Are you pretty confident that you got that you got what it takes to make it?
I think so. I mean, I'm probably gonna struggle at Portland, but because I'm not a road course ringer like some of these guys in here. But I feel like some of the tracks that are coming up are really good and probably get a couple more wins under my belt. But like every race, I'm still learning the next gen, so I'm just getting better and better every week.
All right. Well, I mean, you certainly are doing a good job at that, considering that you have 3 straight podiums. So before we let you go and celebrate your second place finish here at Las Vegas, do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank?
Yes, sir. I want to thank Icon Apparel. I want to thank Adrenaline Studios. Me and Peyton just rebranded it to Adrenaline Studios from Adrenaline Captures. And I want to thank Race Stop Suicide. Thank you for putting on the broadcast. Thanks Shooey for running the league. It was a little rough tonight, but it's still a good league. Yahoo, Sparko, and Wyatt Dooling for letting me be on 4x.
All right. Well, that is second place of Bladen Edwards coming home very strong once again. And we'll see you in a couple weeks after the break.
All right, thank you.
All right. Let me get him out of here. And let's go to our third place driver, James Thurston. Let me get him into the booth real quick. Coming home in third place, it's a very familiar face. It's the number 96 of James Thurston. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
So it was a very up and down race for you. I saw you up front and I saw you in the back. So what was your plan for this race to end up finishing in third?
Yeah, I mean, we ended up third and winning the stage, but I know in between we were in the back a lot. I was just going to try to get as many points as I could this race. I think I got just about everything except for the pole and leading the most laps. Yeah, the flow of these races are super hard for me to really strategize with because they'll wreck a ton, and then I'm thinking, I should probably not be sitting on tires too long, so I go to take fresh ones, and then they decide to go another 20 laps. You take another set, and then you're like, I don't want to take more tires, so you just stay on those tires, and they go 50 laps, and you're just it's kind of screwed. But we got in the back because I was just trying to save another set for the end, which ended up working out. But yeah, we were in the back quite a lot, and we ended up third, so that's good.
So you're having some pretty good runs the past two races. What's your outlook on this season and your chances on getting into the chase, because it's a different format, as you know, from last season? So do you think you have a pretty decent shot of getting in the top 10 in points?
Well, I mean, I'm already leading the points by a lot, so I'd say so. It's still a kind of a stupid format, so I'm probably not going to win the championship. I don't even know if I'll do the rest of the season, but I just come in here for some fun racing. I don't really know what was going on with me and Sam. We were racing for that stage win there, and he pinched me low down in 1 and 2, and I thought down the back he had turned left into me, but then I looked at the replay and he hit the 79, and that's what sent him down into me. And then I thought he was mad at me after that, so I don't know. I think we had an issue on the restart after, or one of the restarts after, and he got mad because I went down in front of him. I didn't even know he was there, and he wrecked because of it apparently. But yeah, he was, and then afterwards he started just kind of racing me like ass, and I don't really appreciate that. I don't really feel like I did nothing wrong, and he didn't give me a reason to race him respectfully. So I never had issues with him before, but I don't know. I kind of hope that doesn't continue.
So before we let you go and celebrate your third place finish here at Las Vegas, do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Murphy Esports, Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsports, just having fun out here, getting good finishes, earning a lot of points.
And that's what matters most at the end of the day, the points. So that is James Thurston coming home in third at Las Vegas. And after the break, we will see you for the next race.
All right, well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, yeah, if you decide to show up, hopefully, because I like seeing your race here.
All right. Thank you, man.
Okay, and now with that taken care of, I can get this graphic off your screen, and I can switch to the scenic camera so I can finally close out this stream. My name is Garrett Hess. You're watching Fireball Talks NASCAR, and thank you for watching the Shooey Sportsbook 180 at Las Vegas for the SRL Snowman Studios Motorsports Designs Cup Series. Big thanks to SKS Graphics for their ticker help. Big thanks to Andrew Schulte for his ticker help as well. Couldn't do this type of stuff without him. If you need help with tickers or just broadcasting iRacing in general, SKS Graphics is the greatest place to go. Want to give a big shout out to Mark Frempong and everyone at Marca, the greatest iRacing league in the world, next to the SRL Snowman Studios Motorsports Designs Cup Series. Well, now that I have that out of the way, I hope you have a good night. Hope you enjoyed your Mother's Day weekend, and I will see you in a couple weeks when I believe we're going to Portland.